What's going on, guys? Stefan here with you, S&E's Garage. Today we are in the shop with our GX470, and we're going to talk airbag suspension today. So in the GX470 forums and Facebook groups, I see a lot of questions about the airbag suspension. I see a lot of people asking if they should convert from airbags to coil springs, if they should convert their newly purchased GX from coil springs back to airbags. So I kind of wanted to talk about that today, and I wanted to make you guys basically a pros and cons of converting to airbags or coil springs, basically based on what your needs are and what your goals for the truck are going to be. So before we start talking pros and cons of airbags versus coil springs, I think it's important that you know how both suspension setups work. So let's go ahead and dive into how the rear air ride works on these GX470s. So the most important part of the system is going to be the airbags themselves. These are the factory airbags that we removed out of this truck with around 150,000 miles on them. You'll see they have a nice bellow, plastic bellow to protect the bag itself. And then under the bellow is the rubber bag. Now you will see this bag does have some micro cracks on it. Like I said, it's 150,000 miles on this thing. It's almost 20 years old. Rubber dries out, rubber wears out, rubber cracks, rubber degrades. That's something to keep in the back of your mind when you ask yourself this question is, when am I going to have to start overhauling this system? But after your bags, you're going to have your ride height sensors. There's going to be one right there. There's two of them, and there's going to be one right here. They are located on the upper control arms for the rear axle. So what they do is they tell the ride height control module exactly what height the rear of the vehicle is, and it makes adjustments on the fly. It's either adding air to the bags or subtracting air to the bags to keep the rear of the car level. After that, you have your air compressor, which is going to be right here. And in that air compressor is a bunch of different valves that either, like I said, they'll either bleed air or they will add air. They'll turn the compressor on and put air into the bags. So with this system, you have some complexity. You have sensors that can fail. You have valves and solenoids that can fail. You have a motor that can fail. You have airbags that can fail. And all of that stuff put together on a 20-something-year-old vehicle, if you're going to be using this thing in a situation where you need the rear suspension to work 100% of the time reliably, you need to keep in the back of your mind that you're either going to have to start overhauling it with new suspension components, new bags, new compressor, new solenoids as they break, or you can convert to a coil spring and avoid all of that, because a coil spring suspension setup is much simpler. Let me go grab my light and we'll show you. All that you have to worry about here is an isolator at the bottom, an isolator at the top, and a coil spring. It's super simple. There is literally, unless your springs break, there's really nothing back here that can fail. It's just a basic suspension. We went with Old Man Emu springs and a Dobinson rear coil conversion that comes with the new bump stops. So realistically, I could remove those bump stops. They're doing absolutely nothing for me. Actually, I'll probably will do that. It makes sense. Give me a little bit more flex back here, but that's basically the differences between a coil spring setup and an airbag. Now, if you plan on keeping your truck at a stock height, almost 90% of the time, it's going to make sense to keep the factory airbags functional because the airbags are nice. They give the truck a very nice ride. They keep the rear of the truck level, so if you're towing anything or you have a bunch of weight in the back, it's going to add air to those bags to compensate for it, and it's going to keep the truck at a nice level height. I liked when I had the bags, because when I put my kids in the back seat, you heard the compressor kick on, and you feel the back of the truck come up a little bit. So it was nice. But if you're going to be modifying or lifting your truck, it's almost 90% of the time it's going to make more sense to go ahead and convert. And let's talk about why. So there's a couple of different ways you can lift these trucks. The first thing you're going to need is an extended shock. So whether, you go with Bilsteins or whatever, you're going to need an extended shock either way. But you can actually modify the rod here for the ride height sensor. You can modify the length of it. I believe you make it longer, and that's going to trick the vehicle into thinking that it is sitting lower than it should be. You'd probably want to add about an inch of length to that if you're looking to go an inch higher and so on and so forth. But you can modify the length of that rod. And what that's going to do is overinflate the bags, and it's going to bring the back of the truck up. Now, keep in mind what I just said. You're going to overinflate a 20-year-old set of airbags. You're going to be adding more air to them. You're going to be adding more stress to them. And you're going to be creating a condition where they may now fail prematurely because they are operating outside of their designed parameters. Now, if you're going to lift your vehicle and you want it to be reliable, this is the way you do it. You gut the system, you convert to springs, and you don't look back. So let's talk pros and cons. What are the pros of keeping your airbags intact? Number one, 100%, it's going to be ride quality. This thing is going to ride better with the rear air suspension. It's just a softer, more comfortable ride. Number two, rear ride height adjustability. In the truck, you have the ability to raise or lower the rear air suspension on the fly. And then you also have the truck that will automatically compensate with those ride height sensors that we showed you. It's a really nice feature, again, especially if you're on the road. If you're towing, you have a lot of stuff in the back of the truck. It's going to keep the truck level. That is a huge, in my mind, that is a huge plus in order to keep the airbag suspension installed. What are the cons of the airbag suspension? As these trucks age, these components are getting older, they're going to start failing. As they fail, you're just going to have to keep replacing them. Now, keep in mind, they may fail on you in a situation that might not be ideal. If they, like I said earlier, if they fail on you when you have a trailer in tow, it's going to be a problem because now you're riding on the bump stops. The bump stops are these guys right here. So this rubber here will come into contact with this axle, and that will now be, in essence, your spring. And that thing is tough. It's going to be a very, very uncomfortable ride as you're going down the highway at 60, 70 miles an hour with absolutely no suspension. Another con is going to be cost. As these components fail, they are not cheap. It's going to cost you to keep this air suspension system going. The bags aren't too expensive. You probably get them used or not used. You probably get them aftermarket on Rock Auto relatively cheaply. But any of the other components, whether it be the airbag control module, the ride height control module, the air compressor, the solenoids, that stuff is not cheap. So if you have a system failure, it makes sense to sit down and make a list of the prices of what you need to fix your airbag suspension versus what it would cost you to convert to a coil spring suspension, and do what you think is best for you. I know once you convert, you never have to worry about anything else failing again, and you just drive the truck, but then you lose, like I said, you lose the adjustability of the rear air suspension that these trucks come with. What are the pros to the coil suspension? Simplicity. Super simple. There's literally nothing here that can fail that's going to keep me stranded on the side of the road or put my family or I in an uncomfortable position. It's a metal spring with a couple of rubber isolators. It's not going to fail. It's foolproof. It's simple. And cars have been using this exact suspension setup since the beginning of the modern automobile. Another pro to converting to coil springs is if you're going to modify the truck. If you plan on lifting the truck, like I said earlier, 90% of the time, it's going to make sense for you to go ahead and convert to the coil springs just because it's easier to lift. It's easier on the truck. It's easier on everything when you convert to the springs. Now, like I said, you will lose that adjustability. So what are some cons to converting to rear coil springs? Number one, it's probably going to be comfort. The rear coil suspension is just not as comfortable. It's not as soft and plush of a ride, especially as you lift these. When you lift them, you do need to go with a stiffer, taller spring, especially if you plan on carrying some weight back here. because like we said earlier, you do lose the adjustability of the airbag. So you kind of have to tailor the coil spring choice based on what you're using. So we have heavy duty rear springs back here. We have the basically the middle. They have the even heavier duty spring that's even stiffer. I didn't really think I needed that. So yes, my truck does ride a bit stiffer than it did with the stock suspension. But that's a given. When you lift something, you're going to lose some of that ride quality, but it is by no means unbearable. I love the way this truck drives. I actually like a firmer ride, but it's not going to ride as soft as your airbags. So to sum up, there really is no right or wrong answer to should you convert from airbags to coils or should you convert from coils back to airbags. You need to weigh the options based on what we talked about in this video and do what you think is going to be best for you. If money is no object and you want to keep the truck stock in pristine original condition with all of the systems functioning, by all means, repair your airbag system, keep it going down the road. As long as you stay on top of it and maintain it and replace parts as they break, it's going to be flawless for you. It's going to ride nice, it's going to drive nice, and you're going to have that adjustability on the fly. Now, if this is your beater or your winter vehicle or something that you don't really care about how it rides, and you just want to get it fixed cheap and back on the road, go ahead and convert. If you're going to be lifting your vehicle, putting oversized 33-inch tires on it, taking it off road, beating it up, and using it as a truck, go ahead and convert. It's going to be simpler, it's going to be easier, and it's going to be more reliable, especially out on the trail. The last thing you want is out in the woods or with the trailer behind you is an airbag failure, because like we talked about earlier, you're going to be sitting on the bump stops. Everyone in the car is going to be mad at you and you're going to break your back. As you'll see here, we modified ours. We lifted it. We put some big tires under it. We did a big metal front bumper. We did a huge underbody skid protection setup, and we did go ahead and convert just because of the added weight and the height that we wanted to put in the vehicle. We figured it would be more reliable and safer for us as a family to go ahead and go with coil springs. So that's what we did. It's by no means what you have to do. If you do want to do that, I do have a video on installing this lift kit. I'll leave it in the video description below. And in that lift kit, we did, like I said, convert to coils. So I hope this video helped you. I hope maybe you learned something here about maybe how your rear airbag suspension works, or just how easy it is to convert if you want to, because it is super easy. You pull a couple of fuses. You could disconnect your airbags, and then I left everything in here. So here's the air tank, the compressor's up here, solenoids are there. I left everything in place. Well, I gutted eventually, probably to save some weight. But you cut the lines, pull the bags. You don't have to worry about anything else. And if you do ever want to convert back, it's super easy. You just bolt everything back up, replace whatever was broken or the reason that you converted, and you'll have your rear air ride functioning again. So if this video helped you, please consider liking, sharing, and subscribing. Stay tuned for more GX470 content. We got a bunch more coming up on this vehicle, and we do have a bunch that we've already done in the past, so check out our other videos on this truck, and we'll see you guys next time.